10 years before I started working at the Women's Birth and Wellness Center, I was myself a patient there. I moved to North Carolina from the Philadelphia area where I had given birth to my first two children with midwives. And I was looking for a primary care provider, and I didn't think I was ever going to have any more babies. But I heard that the Women's Birth and Wellness Center provided primary care for women. So I wasn't even a nurse at that time. I was a stay-at-home mom of my two kids, and I went for my first visit. And at that time, the nurse practitioner was a woman named Amanda O'Brien. And that visit for that annual exam was the most impressive experience I've ever had with healthcare, where I felt like, wow, this person really wants to know who I am. She wants to know, she sat down and said to me, how do you feel about your health? And I said, wow, nobody has ever asked me that question before. And it was a really life-altering experience of healthcare, because it made me realize that there was a different way to do things. I already wanted to be a nurse and an advanced practice nurse. At that time, I thought I was going to be a midwife. But I ended up staying there for my primary care, and 6 years later, I had a third baby, and had a wonderful experience getting to have a baby there. And so became a nurse practitioner and worked for a couple of years doing family medicine at a public health department, and loved that job as well. But when Rachel Van Bree, who was the nurse practitioner who took over for Amanda when Amanda moved on, when she was going to leave the birth center, Maureen Darcy called and said, Rachel's leaving, and we want you to come and continue that kind of care that Amanda had started and Rachel had continued. So it was a dream come true. It felt like a homecoming to be able to come back full circle to the place where I had experienced such different kind of healthcare and get to be the kind of nurse practitioner that I had always wanted to be from that first interaction that I had. So it's been a dream come true. What I most love about my practice at the birth center that is really unique is the amount, because we are a nonprofit birth center and we believe so much that primary care should be provided in the same way that we provide prenatal care and intrapartum care, meaning care around the time of the birth. That we, as a nurse practitioner, I am gifted with time with my patients. So instead of having to see a new person every 15 minutes, I have 45 minutes to sit down with a woman during her annual exam and really hear what's happening in her life and how does she feel about it and what are her concerns about her health and what's her relationship with her body and what's happened to her during previous interactions with the healthcare system that maybe have affected how she feels about what's going to happen there today. And so I frequently get women who've had really traumatic experiences at other places, especially with, for instance, first pelvic exams, first pap smears, who come to me very fearful and thinking that it's going to be painful or it's going to be unpleasant. And I feel so blessed that I have the opportunity to spend the time with those women. And I always tell people it's my life mission that a pap smear doesn't have to be painful, that a pelvic exam doesn't have to be traumatic, and that this is a journey that we're on together, and that you are in charge, and that I'm here to serve you. And I think at other places, I could want to provide that kind of care, but without being given the kind of time that I'm given with patients at the birth center, I wouldn't be able to. So it's truly a gift, and it's such a special environment for patients and for providers like myself.